Hi, everybody. Okay, recruiting tip 34. This is one that's close to my heart, and it has to do with recruiting someone who you might not even be thinking about, but is a really important recruit for your business. And this is your spouse or your partner. Now, I have the unique distinction of being the only full-time uh, spouse in Scentsy, Canada. There are a number of Americans who are like myself who have actively left their jobs to join up with the business that their wife started. Now, I have the unique distinction right now of being the only Canadian, but there will be more. Now, when I think about my story and my experience, there's some important things that I want to communicate with you today that I believe your spouses should know. And one of the main reasons why I left my job to join this was because I liked this more, and I felt from a purely business standpoint that this was a better business. See, I owned a business. I owned a business that cost me $150,000 to buy. I had overhead that every single month I had to make a certain amount of money in order to get paid a dime. I had a lease, I had staff, I had all kinds of things that we don't have in this business. And as our Scentsy business grew and grew and I got more and more and more involved in it, I realized that in my opinion, this was the best business that we could ever have. And I wanted to spend my time helping to build this up. The return on capital for our Scentsy business is phenomenal. To start with $120 to get started, and really, what's been the cost of building it? It's been some time and some courage and some sweat and hard work, but the return on your actual investment capital is significantly bigger. So this is tip number one to help recruit your spouse or your partner. Number one is they need to get informed. They need to have real references. They need to really understand the viability from a business perspective of this business. And once they understand it, the way I understand it now, and as I got educated, I realized this is a phenomenal business. And I really want to be involved in this. So tip number one, get them real references. Have them talk to me. Have them call me. I will take that call any day for any single one of your partners. Any single one of them. Okay, tip number two. As you're getting them integrated, let's say they start showing a little bit of interest and they're starting to think, hey, I might, they may say to you, well, I'm never going to leave my job, but I want to help you part-time. So here's some tips to strategically get them integrated and interested. Number one, have clear roles. Don't duplicate efforts. And having clear roles also means don't have one person being the administrative assistant of the pair. Allow your partner or your spouse to have some creative input in the process. Allow them to help with the strategy. Allow them to help with the marketing. Allow them to help with the business direction, the high level stuff. So they don't think that they're just a bag carrier. They actually think that they're an influencing mind in this business. That's a really important thing. But have clear roles. If you look at Megan and I, our roles actually don't really overlap at all. We communicate every single day about what we're going to do today in the business. But we have clearly defined roles. She handles the organic side of the business. She's out there doing the shows. She's doing the parties. She's doing a lot of the nuts and the bolts training with new consultants. I do a lot of the business training. I do a lot of the marketing training. I handle all of our online and our advertising and kind of the back end. There's very clearly defined roles with both of us, and that's something that's really important. So as you're integrating your partner or spouse into this business, make sure that you have clearly defined roles, but make sure that their role isn't a box carrier. Because if it's just a box carrier, they're not going to be that interested that long. They have to feel that their input is valued. And in doing that, make sure that you're utilizing each other's strengths. If one of you has a certain talent for communication, well, that person should be helping train the team. They really should be helping train the team. If one has a real organizational prowess about them, well, then they should be the one kind of organizing the finances and you know the when you're having the shows and the scheduling and things like that. But utilize each other's strengths, but have clearly defined roles. And then the last two tips I'll just say is communicate. That's one thing that Megan and I do constantly is we talk all the time. We share plans, ideas, goals, strategies every single day. We'll have communications where I'll say, okay, I'm going to go do this, and she'll say, okay, I'm going to do this, and then we say together, well, we should be doing this together. There's almost like a business meeting every single day that takes place. And the last one is celebrate. This is actually the fun part of our business, and this is something that I had never experienced until I got involved in this business. We make goals and we celebrate when we achieve them. And it's fun. We get our kids involved. We've had goals from the very beginning where we say we're going to get this and then we're going to go do that. We're going to get this and then we're going to go do that. And we do it and we stick to it, and it makes it fun. It makes the process of achieving and building the business fun, because you know what? This business is hard. It takes courage, it takes persistence, it takes determination, but it's worth it. It's worth it because this is the best business in the world. I don't care what anyone says, and I have real business experience. I have a business degree, I've owned my own business, I have real business experience, and I love this business. The model's fantastic. So, recruiting tip 34 is recruit your spouse, recruit your partner. Let's get them involved too.